Hey, it's Angie D. Lee, your intimacy guru. And I'm about to head into work, but the thought crossed my mind this morning about rebuilding or restoring intimacy after an argument. I think this is something that a lot of couples can relate to. And it crossed my mind this morning. I was like, oh, let me go ahead and just share 5 quick tips about how to restore intimacy right away after an argument. Because sometimes after an argument, a lot of times things just feel so doom and gloom, like this ain't working, yo, like I'm over you, I'm done, and if we're honest with ourselves, every long-term couple has experienced this feeling at some point in time in their relationship. So I want to give you 5 strategies to restore that intimacy right away after either a minor fight or like a really big one. We're going to just jump right into this, okay? Because this is going to help you immediately, okay? So trust me on this. I know you're like, Angie, I don't know. I don't know if I want to do this no more. But don't worry. I'm going to give you 5 strategies to help restore intimacy after an argument, okay? So the first thing is let yourself cool off, okay? Like when you have just had an argument and you all have said some things, you've done some things, cool off. Just take a breather. You know what that looks like for you. Everyone has a moment where they need to either take a walk, take a drive, have a drink, smoke a little something. I don't know. Whatever you need to do to just kind of chill, get into a chill zone and relax. And also know that your partner needs to relax and chill too. So don't try to dictate how they need to cool off, okay? If you know they usually take walks or they usually just kind of zone out, listen to some music, whatever they do, don't tell them how to cool off. Just give them a moment to do it, and you do the same thing as well. So that's the first thing. Make sure that you all both cool off, okay? So the next thing is, in arguments, most of the time, either one or both people are always trying to get their point across and be right. Throw that out the window. I know it goes totally against what you're used to, but in this case, if you want to restore intimacy, you have got to give up this idea that you need to be correct, because both of you all have opinions about things, you have feelings about things that are valid, and warranted. Even if we don't agree with them, that's your partner's feelings. Those are your feelings, and you all are both entitled to it. We're going to get to the part about working through those thoughts and feelings, but you all are both entitled to feel how you feel about the situation. So neither one of you all are right. How about that? Both of you all just have your own perception of what's going on, and you need to own it and acknowledge that. So that's the second thing. Give up this whole idea that I need to make sure that he knows that I'm right, or she needs to know that I know what I'm talking about and she doesn't. Cancel that out, okay? Third thing, be honest and acknowledge what has happened with yourself. Just start with yourself first. Be honest. Be honest about the role that you play in this. Be honest about maybe where your partner is, but also understand, in the acknowledgement of what has happened, understand that even when your partner lashes out and they're angry or they're quiet and they're cold and they're distant, the reason why they're responding like that is because underneath all of that there is hurt. And if we could just take a minute, think about this for a minute. Just because we're adults doesn't mean that we still don't hurt, that our feelings don't get hurt, that we don't feel embarrassed or insulted or all of those different things. So if you go into restoring intimacy, thinking about how your partner just may feel, even though their response is not what you would like, and maybe like not how you would deal with it, but they're still a human being at the end of the day. So their actions is a response to how they're feeling inwardly. Okay, so just remember that. I know, again, easier said than done, but if you take yourself out of the equation for a minute and say, you know what? I don't like that they're being this way, or I don't like that whole tone of voice that he had with me, and I don't like how she distances herself from me. I don't like any of that. But at the end of the day, she's feeling some kind of way, or he's feeling some kind of way, because this is what's going on with him. And even if you don't know what's going on with your partner, just know that they're probably hurt. More than likely, they're hurt. That's it. That's it. So just start from that place and understand that everyone has a feeling about something, and it doesn't mean that it's wrong. It just means that that's how they're dealing with it. And maybe you are at a point where, you know, you've advanced in how to deal with certain situations, and maybe they're still at a certain level. But if you can be honest with yourself, do you really believe that your partner is trying to hurt you, is trying to stick it to you, or trying? If you know at the end of the day that your partner genuinely loves you and they want this to work, then assume the best intent. Now, if you feel like, you know what, my partner's out to get me, doesn't love me anymore, doesn't care, or whatever, so that's a whole different conversation, right? And that has more to do with, like, are we even supposed to still be together? But if you know deep down inside that your partner does not want to see the worst for you, and they do love you, and just know that this is how they're lashing out, then later on you can have conversations about how can we effectively deal with our emotions when we're upset. Okay, so that's that. Another thing, number 4, listen to understand. That kind of goes along with what I was just saying. When your partner is talking to you about how they're feeling, do not listen to try to go back and stick it to them, or one up them, or bring up something from the past. Listen, like literally listen, and hear the words that they're saying. And then if there's something that you have a question about, then ask for clarification purposes. Don't be sarcastic. Don't be petty. You know, don't go and hit below the belt. But listen to understand and ask for clarification so you'll know how to approach. So you can also say, you know, what I heard you say was this, and can you tell me what you meant by that, so that I am not confused or misconstrued by what you said. Just ask for clarification, okay? And out of all of those things, the last thing is, after that, spend quality time together. After you've talked things through, you've gotten a better understanding of each other and where you're at, spend the quality time, because that's how you're going to practice rebuilding the intimacy. It's not going to happen if you all are just not talking, not spending any time together. So you have got to make a conscious effort to say, okay, this is what has happened. This is what's transpired. I know my role in this. I know your role in this. This is how you felt about it. I'm going to be a lot more conscious of how I say things, what I do, or how this affects you. If both parties are doing that, that means you all are on the right track. And now it's time to spend time together. You have to restore that intimacy. If you are truly serious about your relationship and you want it to not only just work, but you want it to thrive, you want to be excited about your relationship, there are going to be times you have to be very intentional about restoring that intimacy, because it happens. You all are two distinct people trying to come together and coexist. That's not always an easy task. So it's going to take some tweaks and some changes, and shifting our mindset sometimes in how we see our partner, because we're going to have our own perceptions, and they are too. But the thing is, if you all are both wanting to be there, number one, and both willing to hear each other and accommodate each other, then both parties should always be getting what they want. Now, you may not get 100% of what you want all the time, but you all both should be meeting in the middle and getting some of the things that you want. Okay, so take that with you today. We're restoring intimacy today after a big argument. I know sometimes it seems hopeless, but let those things guide you, and make sure that you are intentional and you make this a priority in your relationship in order to restore that intimacy. Alrighty, have a great day. Love you guys.